everyone. Welcome to Schmoedown Analytics. I am the host, Double D, Dan Dolinsky, but I am joined regularly with my co-host, Kiwi Jess. How you doing, Kiwi?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Well, I'm not enjoying the snow that we got earlier this
Oh,
week, but
yeah.
other than that, I'm doing great. Just filed my taxes and I'm getting a big refund this year, so yay! And
I
also,
hear.
we got Soda. How you doing today, man?
I'm the opposite of you. We've already over the big amount of snow. We're getting the big amount of rain that's destroying the snow. So, yeah.
Well, Mother Nature can be a cruel bee.
Yes, sir.
But let's get into our retro analysis. Before we get into all the usual stuff, we are going to have a few announcements. We're going to talk about the Schmoedown Awards just a little bit towards the end of the show, but we are going to, at the end of the show, we are going to have a few announcements about the show going forward. But let's get into our retro analysis this week, which is the rise and fall of Andrew Ghai. Starting off with our first one, it's the legendary Andrew Ghai versus Dan Murrell. I mean, this was a legendary match. You ask anyone who's been uh, since then, you can tell like everyone knew what that they were on that day. But the big reason why I feel that Dan didn't win this match is because he did retire for a little bit, but then he came back.
Ben's French all of a sudden.
That's not French.
Again.
I don't know what that is, but that's not French.
Anyway.
Anyway, so I feel that he came out of retirement and he was just rusty. And my question is do you feel that competitors, to everyone, do you feel that when competitors come back after a retirement or a long hiatus, do you feel that gives them a bit of a ring rust, or do you think it's just bad luck? We'll start with you, Josh.
I'll let Kiwi go. I'll go first on this.
I don't know, because like wouldn't it, in theory, wouldn't it give you more time to sit there and study? Like you don't have any of the pressures of matches, so you can go through it and work at your own pace. I don't know. Because I haven't obviously seen enough returns to really get a good frame of reference. But I don't know. For me, I don't know whether it would get me in my own head more by being out of the competition, or whether it would help me because then I could do all of that, research and whatnot.
Well, I don't know. Merle's actually talked about this match. I think it was on a one-on-one with Christian Harloff, and he said it's not necessarily the rust, is he didn't really watch while he was off, so he had no idea about how much of a character shift some of these people had. So his first exposure to Andrew Ghai was round one. So that's what threw him off, is he wasn't used to the character work during the game. And he's admitted that. It's just like, yeah, Ghai got the better of me that day because I just wasn't prepared.
Well, so let's take a look at some of the competitors who have taken a break or have come out retirement. Starting with Dan Murrell. We'll start with Dan Murrell and Drew McWeeny in singles. So Dan Murrell took almost a year break between his loss to Christian Harloff. It was 13 points, and it was a very close match with 14 points with Christian Harloff winning. Then he came back with Andrew Ghai, and obviously this was the first time Dan Murrell got TKO'd by anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So this was, and obviously after that match, he kind of, obviously everything that you just said, Soda, he came back, he regrouped, and he began his winning streak. And if we look at Drew McWeeny, he took a longer break, almost 2 years. He won his last match in 2019, came back in 2020, won and lost.
Luke.
What?
Oh, sorry. I just brought up a comment. I just said hi.
Oh, okay. So, and then he came back, and then he won his next match after that in July, 25 points. So that was his biggest, the largest amount of points he scored throughout his entire career.
Yeah, which is shocking when you're looking at Drew McWeeny.
Yeah, and now we come to Mark Knopik, who has returned this year. and this was over 2 years of a break, and she ended up winning. But if you think about it, Mara did kind of want to come back in, what was it, 2019?
Well, she was
When
originally supposed to come back the following season, and if I'm not mistaken, and defend against
Mike,
Smets, right,
it was
or something. And that's
yeah,
how that triple threat match in New York happened, because that match got canceled, and Dan wasn't originally supposed to be competing for the singles title. Remember?
yeah, but then she took a break because of health reasons, which is totally
Personal
fine.
reasons, yeah.
Yeah, personal reasons. So, but what she did say is that she's been following along. So I think what happened was, with the reason why Mara's the exception here is because she kept up with it. She was the one who followed along, and she was studying, and she probably had Dan there to kind of mentor her after his Imperial run. But let's go on to our second match with Mark Riley and Andrew Ghai. So this one was also a legendary match. Mark Riley also took a long break, almost over a year of a break as well. And but the thing is that the question is, how did Andrew win? Was it more of him being accurate, or because he was scoring that more points? Because there have been times where accuracy, you can have a low accuracy but still end up winning the match. What do you think, Soda? Do you think
I look at this particular time as when the Riley of old started to disappear. Is when we started getting kind of like the Riley that isn't what he used to be. So I think that might have played a factor into it for sure.
what do you think, Jess?
I don't know. I'd say that it was that Ghai just kept up with what he was doing. I don't think he was high in his accuracy. I just think that the ones he got, he really got. Whereas Riley was missing quite a few things.
Which is it seems to be a common theme with Riley since he came back. After that.
Yeah. So let's look at the act marks accuracy for this. His accuracy was 38%.
That is not good.
It was not good. And again, he came out of he did have a hiatus of over a year. And his PPE was 35%. He had 2 points that he could steal from Andrew Ghai, did not get anything. And this was his only match for that entire year. So his average was 9 points. Yeah.
Jeez.
Now let's look at Andrew Ghai. His accuracy was 67%. His PPE was 63%. He had 5 points that he could steal from Mark Riley, but like Mark, he didn't get any points from him.
Didn't get them.
Yeah, but if you look at all the matches that he scored in the whole year of 2018, Andrew's average is almost 13 points. Now, I want to let you understand. I want you to focus on that for a bit, because we're going to go into his overall numbers for his entire singles career. But first, let's talk about that third match, a third final match, Andrew Ghai versus John Rocha. So obviously, John Rocha came into town. He took care of business and just basically knocked out Andrew Ghai. What are your thoughts on this, Jess? How do you feel about this?
About the match, just in general?
Just in general, yeah.
Yeah, I really like Andrew Ghai as a player. I love his whole stick that he's got going on. I love a good heel, so I just find them super entertaining, even if the accuracy rating is nowhere near what it is today. Like, watching these old matches, it's a lot easier to participate than it is currently. I find it really hard to sit there and play along, whereas the old ones, I'm like, I can actually hold my own. Okay, I don't feel so weird about it. Whereas, so having some really great character work makes them really interesting, and obviously having, really good characters like Rocha and Riley and, Merle to sort of play off is really fun.
What are your thoughts on these old matches, Soda?
It's very fun to go back and watch and kind of remember my mindset at the time, because I remember, like, obviously going into the Merle match, like, oh, there's no freaking way that guy has this, and then he wins. And then you go into the Merle match, and then to the Riley match, you're like, okay, that last one's a fluke, and no, he wins. And then so going into this one normally would have been like no brainer Rocha, but I remember going in like at this point it's a pick 'em, like we don't know. And then of course, it folds like it's supposed to. And this is really the end of the high spot for Andrew Ghai in singles. Because I know he had a good teams run after this, but in terms of singles, this was really it.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. I mean, let's look at. He's only been in 6 matches in singles, and we look at half of them. All of his matches. In singles. So let's look at all.
Wait, was the match his first singles match?
Yep.
Or okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, that was his first match, and these were his last 3 matches. This is the first 3 matches in his career. Then he had 2 matches later on in other years. But select that. So yeah, he had a total of 6 matches in singles. And he averages
Very nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, he averages just over 5 points in round 1. And in round 2 he averages just under 4 points. Comedy was his best category. Even though Nolan could be second, it dropped down to his third after Rocha's match. He's never been in a 5-round match, so he has no betting round accuracy or speed accuracy. His 2-pointer, 50-50 accurate. He's 50-50 accurate. With his 3-pointer, he's 100% accurate. He's never been to his 5-pointer. And his overall average score is.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What the Rocha match, the 2 Bateman matches were all TKOs, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. No, okay. The Rocha and the second Merle match, I think all of them were knockout matches with Bateman. Because I know he got knocked out in the second one. He got knocked out in the first one.
Oh,
he's been knocked out 3 times.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah. His average overall score is almost 11 points with a standard deviation of almost 4 points. So we're looking at 15 to 7 point lead. Now, I think this answer is obvious, but do you guys think that if he were to return to singles, do you think he could compete?
I would really love to see him return because, like I said, I like his character, but he is going to be slaughtered. He is not even going to get a look in. This is the sad thing.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. He was you could tell he was studying, but in today's game and age, that type of studying wouldn't be enough.
You have to deep dive. You have to deep dive to hold your own now.
The only way he would have a shot is if Team Action returned and he trained with Bateman. The only way.
Yeah, I think that's the same way. But I actually am glad that he is actually part of this run. If anything, he's on the bus and making those announcements and doing that character work. Because Schmoedown is better with that character, even though he can't compete. And
yeah, he's perfect for that role because he was always more of a character-based character. So being that announcer or a manager perfectly fits Andrew Ghai.
Yeah, that would be great for him.
Yeah.
All right. So hopefully we see more of Andrew Ghai in some way, shape, or form. But let's talk about the man of the hour with the new segment, Crunching Numbers with Double D. We're going to look at the man, the myth, the legend, the outlaw. And so he is the award winner for the Yodi Award. Spoilers, we actually know that for a fact because it's not a spoiler at this point. But we're going to see what the Finstock dossier says about the Rocha.
What?
Yeah. Sorry, I actually sometime last year I met Tom Dagnino in this very fancy restaurant called the Signature Lounge because he used to own it back in the 90s, but he since gave it up and he has a little table associated with him. So after many rounds of liqueur,
you all fancy.
Yeah. He leaves a tablet on the bar to leave with 2 smoking hot model babes. And I pick it up and it's.
Where's that the 2 that used to bring on the Schmoedown show? What was her name?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
The point is that I got access into it.
Spicy
and,
Lucy.
that's the one. And the other one's Tiffany Smith.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
So I actually have the dossier now. I didn't have to pay $800, $900, or $1,000, whatever it is. So I have.
It's
the
also
dossier.
your left kidney as well. You can't.
And your
Yes, I have
soul.
to do that. So yeah, I just had to go.
In all of your dignity.
Yes,
Yeah.
I just had a couple of liqueurs with with Gucci. So
Nice.
with John Rocha, what do you think his overall stats are in singles?
I I would probably say he's been knocked out or TKO'd more than we think. But I think overall he's probably in the mid-range percentage. I'd probably say put him 70 to 80% in terms of those percentages.
I'm going to say 63. I'm just going to pull a number out of thin air. I'm going to say 63.
Okay, so we're not looking at just one number.
Yeah, okay, well.
Yeah.
Well, I'm using that as for
I'm saying accuracy 63.
Okay, so he's been a part of 30 matches in his entire career. His record is 16-14 with 4 knockouts. So not too good in terms of like records, but this just shows you that you don't success in the Schmoedown doesn't necessarily mean overall wins. You need to have a good character, and people generate towards that character. So yes, his record right here is not the best, but he has a good lovable character. His average in round 1 is about 6 points. Same thing with round 2. Oscar movies, crime movies, 90s movies, westerns, biopics, biopics. They're all pretty high up on his best categories.
Oh yeah,
westerns would have been higher just because it seems like there was a while there where that's all he spun.
Yeah, I think 80s movies he spun like maybe 4 or 5 times.
Okay.
So, but even then, it's still at 6 points on average.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty good. His worst is obviously Spielberg, but even then, it's only at 3 points. So it's not that. And I think
it's not terrible.
Yeah, and this was during the time where the Schmoedown was at a format where you could have. It was a little bit different. Like the Collider days where you had 6 questions instead of 8, and they were broken up into 2 different groups. So
The early days where it's like, all right, Rocha, do you want column A or you want B? He chooses, and then the other opponent would get the other questions. Yeah. Very, very, very primitive days.
Yeah, it's basically before the wheel days of the Schmoedown.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you're pretty close with his betting round accuracy, Jess. He's at 57% with betting. Not too good, but not too bad. Speed round accuracy, 17%. That could be because of the buzzer, and he's just not quick on them.
Yeah.
80% accurate with his 2-pointer and his 3-pointer, 40% with his 5-pointer, and his average score is 17 points with a standard deviation of 3 points. So we're looking at like maybe 21, 20 points to 14 points.
I will say this about Rocha. It's like when you got down to that round, you usually count on him to get it. Like he could be clutch.
Yeah. So he's been part of 3 teams. That's the top 10. That's in the very old days of the Schmoedown. Founding Fathers and Rushmore. So we're going to take a look at top 10 first because that is his first match. So the numbers on his on the left side, that's the old primitive days of the Schmoedown. The numbers on the left, or the right, I should say, are the more modern format of the Schmoedown. So
do they have that many matches?
Yep.
It's 14, really. Wow.
Yeah, 14 matches, 3 knockouts. Their record is 9-5.
Yep.
So in the old days, they averaged, which out of 6, really good. But obviously, in the more modern format, they average around 11 points. So it's not great, but it's okay. Round 2 averages 8 points on average, and in the new format, it's about 8 points as well. So it doesn't it stays the same. But if you look at, I think it's dramas where and down. That's the old format, and the no, I'm sorry. Uh, from Spielberg to 80s movies, that's the old format, and everything else is in the more modern format. So you can see
Oh,
that.
okay.
Okay.
So yeah, you can tell that they are actually a lot better back in the old format versus in the more modern format.
Mhm.
Betting round accuracy, they're 50%. Speed round, in whether you're talking about the old and the new, they're plus 10% in the old, minus 10 in the new, more current format. So they've lost more points in the speed round versus when gaining more points. Their 2 pointer is 88%. Their 3 pointer is 50%, and their 5 pointer is 100%. They've never missed their 5 pointer, and their average score is 25 points with a standard deviation of about 6 or 7 points. What do you guys think? Do you think this is a good average or good stats, or do you think this is like mediocre?
Depending on what area you're looking at. If you're
Yeah.
looking at now, I don't
No.
know if we get title wins out of that. But back in the day, this was as top as it got.
Mm.
Remember?
What do you think, Jess?
They were pretty prolific back then, but yeah, I
Yeah.
think looking at like Shazam and their numbers are insane. I
Yeah.
just don't think that even King Arthur had probably much better than what they've got. So
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like, if you're including, like, if you're looking at teams of nowadays, like, I don't know if they would knock out a team like King Arthur. If they were to win, they would sneak it out.
yeah,
And then Nost himself is notorious that he's studying is not for him. So
yeah.
So let's look at the next team, which is the Founding Fathers, which is probably what most people think of as Rocha's best team.
easily, if you're not an old school fan, it's easily the most famous of the three.
Yeah. So the record,
I know of this one more so than top 10.
Yeah. So the record is 6-4 with 4 knockouts. They've been in 10 matches. They've averaged almost 14 points in round 1, which is just shy of perfect. Just that perfect. Average round 2 is about 9 points. Fantasy sci-fi, they're almost perfect. Angelia Bassett almost like at 11 points. New releases. New releases. I almost said new movie release dates.
Release dates.
Yeah. So new releases again, 11 points. Horror, 11 points. Romance. Dan Murrow's most infamous category. They're at 9 points.
Yeah.
Inner Geekdom, 8 points. Tim Burton, 8 points. Movie release dates, they're at 8 points. Eddie Murphy and Stanley Kubrick, they're at 7 points. Their betting round accuracy is 67%. Now, the speed round accuracy, the number on the left is the format that is more common, the one with the buzzers. The one on the right is the digital statistics. So they're better.
I'm with Taco on this. Like, I think to me, top 10 is more iconic because of the nostalgia factor and stuff like that. And what I would give to see Nost on the desk.
Yeah, I think that would be cool to see. But I mean, it was nice to see that him at the last.
Yes,
that was nice.
That was right.
And also Scott Mance made an appearance too, but that was also nice as well.
I just can't get over the 2-point accuracy and the 5-point accuracy being 100%.
Yeah,
that's insane.
I know, right?
Yeah, I think this is probably why you have Dan Murrow on the team because I think I haven't watched. I don't remember most of their matches, but you see that they were strategizing. Like, okay, you put Dan first with the 2-pointer because or Rocha knows that more on something, so you can have one over the other. And obviously, with their 3-pointer, it's at 78%. So maybe I think John Rocha took that 3-pointer, and obviously it cost him a few times. But when they came together, 100% accurate all the time. So they average almost over 29 points with a standard deviation of 6 points. So we're looking at anywhere between 35 points to 23 points, and that includes also knockouts as well.
I have a question. Galaxy Geek put a question in here. So I have a question for you. How long till you see Dan retire?
I reckon if he has another year like he did last year.
Yeah, I'm also, if I'm including when it stops being feasible for him to fly in all the time.
Yeah, and
might
I
go
actually
for that
watched someone. I forgot who put this in, but I think it was Justin Square. He said that this was like the first year where Dan Murrell did not win a single award.
Yeah, it's
So
true,
yeah, so I
You're
feel
gonna look at the kind of people he went up against, though. You
right?
could like,
Yeah.
unfortunately, he just didn't qualify for any of them.
It seems like he will always be the GOAT, but the days of him being dominating are over.
yeah. So I feel that until I think he'll still be in it for
Yeah.
maybe next season, but unless he's as dominating as he has been in the past,
I reckon he'll dip out.
yeah, he might step out just a little bit. But
Yeah,
and
I got an analogy for this. It's like watching, like, for example, Wayne Gretzky. The guy is like, he still has more assists than anybody else has points. He has all these records, but if you look at him throughout his career, at the end of his career, he was still putting up good numbers, but compared to his old numbers, it wasn't that great. He went from like 215 points as his record. His final season was 62 points, which is still not bad, but it's not what you used to be. I think I see that kind of trajectory with Merle. Still good, but he's not there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And you also have to think about that. I think he moved to Arkansas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that also plays a factor. How many times is he going to fly out to LA to film a match? So I think he'll be in for next season, but I think this might be his last season, but we'll have to wait and see. If he is going to be dominating, then maybe he'll do maybe 2 years, but I think it's coming to an end. I think Riley will be the first one to go before Dan.
I agree. I don't see Riley playing this year.
Yeah, I think that his numbers haven't been stellar.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If they bring him back after everything, what was the point?
Yeah.
What was the point of all that fanfare of last year, giving him the Odie Award, doing that last final match for him to then just come back? I don't know. It would bother me.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
maybe not as a player.
If it wasn't as a player, that's fine.
Yeah, I think he will come back as something. I don't because he has said stuff that he would like to manage the Schmoedown entirely. But now that might be for storyline purposes. That might be he might be an announcer on the desk. But I think he will be in the Schmoedown.
I'm fine with that.
But returning, I don't think so. I think the numbers show. If you look at his singles and his singles record, he's like just slightly in the above average category. I just feel like it's getting tougher and tougher to maintain it. And with everything he's got going on, I don't think he's going to be returning. But as a competitor, I think he will be.
Yeah, no personality for sure, but not as a competitor.
And let's get to his final team. Team Rushmore. They've been in only 4 matches. Their record is 2-2 with no knockouts. Averaging they're in round 1 is 15 points. They average round 2 and 11 points. Their best category was top 2010s, and it kind of dwindles from there, but it's not bad because if you notice, their lowest one is Action and Adventure, and it's only 10. They average 10.5 points,
which is pretty good.
So it's not bad
at all.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. Never part of a 5-round match, but their 2-pointer accuracy is 50%, and they've nailed their 3 and their 5-pointer every single time. They average. Their total average score is 31 points with a standard deviation of 4 or 5 points. So we're looking at like somewhere between the range of 27 to about 36 points. So that's pretty good, but I think that I think we all came to the conclusion that I think John is done as a competitor. His averages aren't as stellar as compared to others, but it was definitely a great send-off, his last match with Dan Murrell.
Well, I'd love to see him face Marisol. That'd be fun.
Oh, that would be great.
How quickly would he get knocked out?
I have Rocha's match sheet here, and if you're going back starting in 2020, he's only got in singles 2 wins, 5 losses. So.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this, because I just had this thought. What if it was an exhibition match? If he returned in an exhibition match?
Yeah, that's cool.
Exhibition. Yeah,
Sure.
they don't count for anything. I was about to say they don't mean anything, but no, they don't count for anything.
Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah, which means we're going to be getting a lot of that this year, anyways. We're pretty much dealing away with that faction stuff, so we could possibly get more exhibition matches like we had in the past.
Ooh.
Because remember Double D, like we used to get like those celebrity exhibition matches and stuff like that. Like I could see that coming back, and Rocha coming for one of those.
I'd love that. I would absolutely love that.
Have you seen any of those, Jess?
I saw the digital ones. I saw a few of them.
Oh, okay. Well, I was gonna say, like, if you want to watch some fun, go back and watch some of the old ones where they brought in actors. Like they did one with the kids from the Power Rangers. They did one with
that's actually on the channel, though. That's actually on the channel. It's an exhibition match, but it's still on the channel, so you can.
Right, and then there's also the people from Ash vs. the Evil Dead. They had one with the cast of Glow. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's gonna be me later
and Rocha
today.
played in which one did he play in? Oh, he played Alex Wolff. That's what he was. He played against the King Kid from Hereditary.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, that'd be great.
I think there was also a Harry Potter exhibition.
Right, the Harry Potter exhibition match because he used to work at the Harry Potter land in
California.
In California,
that sounds
like Schmoedown fans going up to him, and he couldn't break character. But there's pictures of Schmoedown fans with him as the conductor.
What I would say, if I had the chance to actually see him there at Orlando, in California, would be he's like, you should look out. There's a guy that looks exactly like you. He's called the Outlaw. I'm afraid that he's going to actually rob the train, so you better watch out for him. That would be my one wish.
Yeah, that is really something I do wish we'd bring back because those exhibition matches were so much fun. Especially like the Christmas one where Rocha dressed up as a freaking tree.
I'm sorry, what?
Was it a tree or was it an elf? It's one of the two.
I think it was a tree.
It was a tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to find these matches. I need to compile a little list. Yes, please.
I'll do that this afternoon while you're doing other things.
All right. So let's now we're going to go into a little bit of spoiler territory with the Schmoedown Awards. So if you haven't seen last night's Schmoedown Awards,
what were you doing?
Yeah, right. I mean, it was predictable, but what were you doing?
Yeah, there was nothing that shocked me in that at all. And I'm very happy about a certain person winning a certain award.
There was one that I'm a little shocked, but not surprised. That makes sense. We'll get to it.
If you recall, that was our very first episode, us predicting who was going to win those awards. Here's the outcome. Wait. Sorry, wrong button. Almost now the one award that we did not have any data on was Upset of the Year, so we're not going to count that one.
Yeah.
I predicted based on the Facebook group, it all came into line. The only one, except for one, Manager of the Year.
That was probably the one that was the hardest to call.
Yeah, that one was the hardest for me.
Let's look at my data. If the blue line is the Manager of the Year, Gucci was leading in the Facebook group, but Shannon was just 9 votes down from the Facebook group. Mm-hmm. And I said in that video, I wouldn't be surprised if Shannon takes it because there are fewer people voting on the Patreon. So I feel like there was a chance that Shannon would get it. So,
but still, as opposed to the other ones, which you could tell were pretty much clean cut from the get go, that was the one where it's just like, okay, how are they going to vote? Are they going to vote on the faction that will have the most wins without any points, without any title matches, or are we going to go for the two-time champs, right?
Yeah, but as we can see,
Finstock won the faction of the year,
which is exactly what the Facebook group said. Almost every
well deserved, especially after you showed me all their win-loss record compared to every other faction.
Yeah,
it was only fair.
Yeah, that was the real. I feel like that was the fair ruling, and I'm glad that the fans actually decide on. I feel like the right winner because 35 wins, 19 losses. No one even comes close. And they were number one going into Spectacular without any title matches with rookies.
Yeah, exactly.
So, that to me, that was the clear winner for me.
Yeah, and the only reason why Thomas Harper versus Gold Leader didn't win was because it was Gold Leader. So
Pretty much, yeah.
according to Thomas Harper in the chat, was very, very adamant, and he wasn't too happy about not getting a Rookie of the Year.
Well,
I'm a little bit happy.
Well,
a little bit.
Maybe next time he goes into Inner Geekdom and he sails through that as well, then he would get. Well, he can't get Rookie of the Year anymore, but he can have Player of the Year award if he does that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that'll do for our award announcements. Because I feel like I called it. For the most part. I have almost a 94% accuracy rating with so the Facebook.
Ooh, that's a good accuracy rating. If you were in the Schmoedown, you'd be dominating.
Well, I shouldn't say that. I should say that the Facebook group has a 94% accuracy rating. So, but I want to say I got the coup because I put it up for you guys. But now we're going to talk about our certain announcements for the show going forward. So we began this show to kind of talk about the matches to kind of fill in the void till the season premieres. But I'm I feel like we're all getting kind of burned out with all these retro analysis. So I feel we're going to get rid of all of that. And we're going to kind of keep it to a 15-minute show where it's just the analysis part, where it's basically the crunching numbers part, where we take a topic and we explain it thoroughly. Because I feel like that's where I'm the strongest. And I feel like that's what people were tuning in for in our very first episode. What do you guys think? Do you think this would be a good move, or do you think this is?
Yeah, it's been a big year. It's been a big year.
Yeah.
So I think taking it to like what works is really a really good idea.
Which is basically what you do, especially with, like I said earlier, like we're in that point of that show where we're only a couple episodes in, so this is the time to tweak.
Yeah,
and I'm taking a mini break anyway, so.
Yeah, I was just going to get to that. So, Jess is going to take a break because obviously she's got so much going forward with her. But I want to say thank you, Jess, for being on this show with me, helping me establish the show, just to kind of be here with me and talk about these retro, these old matches with you. I hope it's been great fun for you.
It's been great. Yeah. You have no idea. It's been really cool having a good reason to go back and watch historic matches and watch them in like sort of a theme. Has been really nice because I did try and start watching it from the start, and it's a very big task. So taking it in little bite-sized chunks has been really nice. So I've really enjoyed that, and it's been so much fun actually talking about it because I think it deepens my Schmoedown knowledge and makes me just that little bit more of a fan than I already am.
Yeah, it's definitely been fun to watch you go back and see this. It's like it was like watching through fresh eyes in a way.
Yeah, and it's been amazing, and thank you Double D for taking me through this, because obviously I'm such a freshie to all this.
Oh, that's no problem. And that was actually kind of a good crutch for you because you have these fresh eyes, and I mean I've seen every single match, so it's kind of like I'm being the mentor to you're my Padawan basically.
Yes.
So it's like I'm guiding you through the Schmoedown over the years and giving you all this data, so you can kind of say, okay, if this person does this, then this is going to win. So it's kind of like I'm kind of guiding you through it. But obviously, real world happens and things need to be tweaked. So we're going to evolve to a much better show for me, for us, and for you guys, our audience. So hopefully we can have a much greater success in the future. But do we want to say anything else before we wrap this up? Or
find me on Mount Schmoedown in a bit. We'll be talking to John Rocha.
Yeah, that's
I'm really excited.
Yeah,
very excited to meet the Outlaw.
That is a huge get. We had Rocha back on the channel in the early days, but this is a huge get, especially for Mount Schmoedown right now. So definitely check that out. 2:00 Pacific time.
Newbie Jess gets to
Jess
talk
is
to
going to
the
be
Outlaw.
on. John's going to be returning for an episode. Ben and Ryan are still going to be there hosting, and yeah, they're going to be talking to Rocha for probably about an hour, I guess.
And then check out Let's Talk About Star Wars later tonight, where Gold Leader and Taco are going to be pitching Star Wars films. Sounds vaguely familiar. Not going to go into that. That's fine. I feel like they had some help figuring out that
There's a
segment, but
Northern
that's fine.
Exactly. There's a Northern Entertainment Group Civil War going on for the Taco Jess.
Lines are going to be drawn. Pick a side, folks.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the one who's going to go on the side of the person who's going to kill me, likely. So I would be Jess. I'm on your side.
I'm taking the Mandalorian approach and being neutral. So
Yeah, good. Diplomatic answer. I like that.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us on this Saturday, and I can't wait to see you for our new installment, our evolutionary form of the show going forward. Until then, see you next time.
You know what's cooler than magic?